Close your eyes. You're standing in a city that no longer exists. It's the year 450 BC, and you're in the heart of the most powerful empire on Earth. This is Persepolis, or as the Persians called it, Parsa, the city that took 60 years to build, the city where 23 nations came together every spring, the city that was destroyed in a single night. This is what it was like to live here before it burned. You arrive from the south. The first thing you see is the platform, a massive stone terrace carved into the mountainside, 125,000 square meters of polished limestone, rising 15 meters above the plain. This wasn't just a city, it was a stage, built to make you feel small, built to make you feel like you were entering the center of the world, because you were. You climb the grand stairway. The steps are wide and shallow, designed so that horses and nobles could ride up without dismounting. No one was meant to rush here. Every step was meant to be slow, deliberate, ceremonial. At the top, you pass through the gate of all nations. 2 enormous stone bulls guard the entrance. Each one stands 5 meters tall, carved from single blocks of stone. Their eyes stare straight at you, a message from the king. You are now in the house of the King of Kings. Inside the gate, the world opens up. You see the Apadana, the audience hall of Darius the Great. 72 columns, each 20 meters tall, holding up a massive cedar roof. The hall could hold 10,000 people. And along the stairways, something extraordinary. Stone carvings, hundreds of them, showing delegations from every corner of the empire. Ethiopians bringing gold, Indians leading donkeys, Babylonians carrying textiles, Armenians presenting horses, Lydians offering silver bowls. 23 nations, each one carved in perfect detail. Their clothing, their hairstyles, their gifts. This wasn't propaganda. This was a portrait of the world. And here's what makes it remarkable. Persepolis was built by no slaves. We know this because the record survived. Thousands of clay tablets found in the ruins, the fortification tablet. They show that every worker at Persepolis was paid, men, women, children who helped, wages in silver, grain, wine, and beer. Women who had just given birth received extra rations. Skilled workers from Egypt, Babylon, and Greece earned premium wages. 2,500 years ago, in the middle of what we now call Iran, they built the greatest city on earth with paid labor. Now, imagine this city during Nowruz, the Persian New Year, the first day of spring, the most important day in the empire. Delegations arrived from 23 nations, from Africa, from India, from Greece, each one bringing their finest tribute. The priests lit sacred fires at dawn. The smell of incense filled the air. Musicians played, dancers performed. Feasts lasted for days. Tens of thousands of people gathered. The king sat on his throne in the Apadana. Above him, a carved symbol of Ahura Mazda, the god of light. Around him, the representatives of every people in his empire. This was not just a party. This was the empire renewing itself. Every nation, every language, every faith united under one roof, in one city, for one moment. Persepolis at Nowruz was the ancient world's United Nations, except it actually worked. But outside the palace walls, the city was alive too. Workers and craftsmen lived in settlements around the platform. Metal workers hammered bronze and gold. Weavers produced elaborate textiles. Stone carvers spent years on a single relief. Bakers made bread from wheat grown in the surrounding plains. The royal road connected Persepolis to the rest of the empire. 2,500 kilometers of maintained highway. Messengers on horseback could carry a message from Persepolis to the Mediterranean in just 15 days. A postal system 2,500 years ago. Persepolis stood for nearly 100 years, through the reigns of Darius, Xerxes, Artaxerxes. Each king added his own palace, his own throne room, his own mark on the city. The Hall of 100 Columns, the Palace of Xerxes, the largest building on the platform, the treasury where the wealth of 23 nations was stored. It was the greatest collection of riches the ancient world had ever seen. Then came Alexander. In 334 BC, Alexander of Macedon began his conquest of the Persian Empire. He crossed from Greece into Asia with 40,000 soldiers. He defeated the Persians at Granicus, then at Issus, then at Gaugamela. Each victory brought him closer to the heart of the empire, but Persepolis would not fall easily. A Persian general named Ariobarzen blocked the mountain pass leading to the city. With just a few thousand soldiers, he held Alexander's entire army for a month. Boulders rained down from the cliffs. Arrows flew from every direction. Alexander lost entire platoons. He was forced to retreat, leaving his dead behind, a humiliation he had never suffered before. Eventually, a captured shepherd showed Alexander a hidden path around the mountains. He outflanked the Persians and broke through. But before he reached the gates, he saw something he would never forget. 800 Greek prisoners stood outside the city, mutilated by the Persians, hands cut off, ears removed, eyes gouged out. These were men who had been enslaved for years. The Macedonians saw them and were filled with rage. In January 330 BC, Alexander entered Persepolis. He described it as the most hateful city in all of Asia, and he gave it to his soldiers to plunder. They killed every man they found. They dragged women from their homes. They looted every house, every workshop, every temple. The Macedonians spent an entire day pillaging, and still they could not satisfy their greed. Then Alexander climbed to the citadel, and he found the treasury. 2,500 tons of gold and silver accumulated since the reign of Cyrus himself. 200 years of wealth from 23 nations. It took 20,000 mules and 5,000 camels to carry it all away. The greatest transfer of wealth in ancient history. For 3 months, Alexander and his army occupied the city. They feasted in the very halls where Persian kings had received the world. Then came the night that changed everything. A banquet. Wine flowed freely. Alexander and his generals were celebrating their conquest. According to the ancient historian Plutarch, a woman named Thais stood up. She was Athenian. She reminded the Greeks of what Persian King Xerxes had done 150 years earlier. He had burned Athens to the ground. Now, she said, it was time for revenge. The drunken crowd roared. She picked up a torch. Alexander took one too. They threw them into the palace of Xerxes. The fire spread. The cedar roof caught instantly. Flames shot into the night sky. The drunken soldiers grabbed more torches. 200 years of construction burned through the night. By morning, the greatest city in the ancient world was ash. The columns that held up the Apadana cracked in the heat.
The stone reliefs of 23 nations blackened. The fortification tablets, the records that proved these workers were free, were baked hard by the fire. Ironically, the fire is what preserved them. Without the flames, those tablets would have crumbled to dust centuries ago. Years later, Alexander returned to Persepolis. He saw what he had done, and he was filled with regret. But it was too late. Today, Persepolis is a ruin, but it is not forgotten. 13 columns still stand where 72 once held up the sky. The stone bulls still guard the gate of all nations, weathered by 2,500 years of wind and sun, but still standing. The carvings of 23 nations still line the stairways. Every face, every hairstyle, every gift, still there. Archaeologists have spent nearly a century excavating the site. They found the fortification tablets baked hard by Alexander's fire. 8,000 documents proving that this city was built by free workers, the oldest payroll records in human history, preserved by the very fire that destroyed everything else. In 1979, UNESCO declared Persepolis a World Heritage Site. Today, visitors come from around the world. They walk the same steps that delegates from 23 nations once climbed. They stand in the shadow of the same stone bulls. They touch the same carvings. And every spring, Iranians still gather here for Nowruz, the same celebration, the same place, 2,500 years later. Grandmothers bring their grandchildren. Families spread blankets on the grass. Children run between the ancient columns. The fire destroyed the buildings, but it didn't destroy the idea that people from every nation, every faith, every language could come together in one city, under one roof, in peace. Persepolis burned, but what it stood for never did. If this video gave you chills, subscribe, because next time we're stepping inside another lost city that the world forgot. See you then.